Lynette Oxley here for Tac Shack Tactical TV. Welcome to our Friday Chairman's update from GOSA and Paul Oxley. And here's Uji as well, if you can see him. In any case, hello.
Hi guys. What
are we talking about today, Paul?
Okay, so we don't really have that much to talk about, embarrassingly. But so we're going to depth on some things. Yesterday we were sent a letter that Martin Hood had written. No, Uji, please. He's licking my legs. Uji. Thank you, my boy. Anyway, Martin had sent a letter to the police, or he's written about sending a letter to the police. So in the directive that the police issued, they don't cover a very important point that was made in the constitutional order. The constitutional order revolved around ownership and the rights to ownership of property. And we mentioned this at the time. So the police's directive, although it's an excellent directive and it solves a lot of problems for us, it leaves a gap. It doesn't deal with the property aspect of the firearm. So if something's your property, you can dispose of it however you wish at any time. If you want to sell your car, you can sell your car. If you want to sell your house, you can sell your house. There's no restraint on that. You can sell it whenever you want to sell it, because that's part of ownership.
Yeah.
That's an essential element of ownership. It's an essential element of owning property. So we mentioned there's a workaround in the directive. So if you don't want to relicense your gun, if you want to sell your gun or give it away, the directive doesn't cater for that. Now, which means that the directive is not consistent with the order of the Constitutional Court, because it's not allowing you to treat the gun as your property.
So that you can sell it, obviously.
So you can sell it. If you want to give it to your kids, or you want to, whatever the case is, you want to dispose of the gun, you don't want to license it in your own name. And we didn't consider that to be a problem at the time, but now 2 weeks later, Martin has latched onto this, and he's dead right. He's absolutely correct. If the gun is your property, your inalienable property, as the Constitutional Court has decreed, then you must be able to do whatever the hell you like with it. You must be able to give it to another person, or sell it, or do whatever you like. And the process outlined by the directive only allows you to license it into your own name. If you try and license it into your name, and it is licensed into your name, you can sell it. If they refuse your license, you have 60 days to sell or donate it or dispose of it in some other way. So the directive has got a hole in it. There's a problem. So Martin has written to the police, or he said he's written to the police, and asked them to address this, whether this is addressed by an updated directive, or whether this has to be the subject of a legal challenge. We don't know at this stage, but it is being addressed. And we will keep you posted on this. This is quite important, guys. We will keep you posted on this. Then, today I've had to give, well, I haven't had to give, I've given 2 interviews today. One to an investigative journalist writing for the Mail and Guardian, and one in a live debate on SABC, one of the SABC radio stations, I'm not sure which one, with Adele Kirsten from Gun Free South Africa.
You haven't spoken to her for a while.
Haven't spoken to her for a while. So it's about the instance of the tavern shootings over the weekend. There were 3 tavern shootings this weekend. The biggest one, of course, being in Soweto, where 16 people now were killed. It's just been updated. There was this tavern shooting in Pietermaritzburg, and I think 2 or 3 people were killed there, and one somewhere else as well. In total, I think about 21 or 22 people were killed in taverns this weekend,
that's a big number.
It's a big number. So, but of course, the most the ones with 1 and 2 people, those are pretty much every day. The big one, of course, was Soweto. The interesting thing about Soweto is that it seems to have been a protection racket, inspired thing where a gang has been extracting protection money from tavern owners, and this guy obviously wouldn't pay the VEG or wouldn't pay the protection money, so 3 gunmen arrived with AK-47s and dumped about 137 rounds into the tavern, killing, as we say, 16 people. It's a tragedy. All the innocent people sitting in a tavern having a drink, not doing anything wrong, not harming anybody in the world, and they get gunned down because crime, because I don't know. And of course, Gun Free South Africa is trying to recycle this as proof why gun control needs to be tightened up, why the amendment bill has to be passed, because this would make it all better. Of course, the amendment bill, as with the existing Firearms Control Act, deals only with lawfully held firearms in the first part. So AK-47s, icon a winner. Doesn't happen, not part of that picture. And you just can't stop criminals doing criminal shit. So my approach in the 2 interviews today has been to talk about this grasping at straws thing that we have in South Africa, this jumping to conclusions, this knee-jerk reaction. There's the tavern down in Ubeni in East London the other day where there's 22 or 21 teenagers between the ages of 13 and 17 were asphyxiated by carbon monoxide poisoning because it was ice cold, all the doors were closed in the tavern, and they were running a petrol generator for the entertainment, for the guy running the discs or whatever it was, running the music. So the people just literally, carbon monoxide poisoning is the most frightening thing because they call it the silent killer, because you can't smell it, you can't see it, but everyone just gets drowsy and eventually falls asleep, and that's it. End of story. So immediately in the aftermath of that, we saw our dear president mailing about being teenager, and they're going to investigate this, and now they're going to consider dropping the age for selling alcohol to young people from 21 years, from 18 years. They're going to raise it to 21 years. Sorry, raise it, not drop it. Raise it to 21 years, because that will stop these tragedies. The kids that died were between the ages of 13 and 17. They weren't able to legally buy alcohol in any case. Dropping the alcohol, the legal age to 18 would have made absolutely no difference, because they were already under 18.
Yeah.
Okay? In the first place. In the second place, they died of carbon monoxide poisoning, not of alcohol. What the hell, Mr. President? Do you even listen to yourself sometimes? So the point I'm trying to make is we have this knee-jerk reaction. We jump on the nearest, we jump on the nearest bandwagon. So now we have Gun Free South Africa and Pule Mabe, the spokesman for the ANC, and a whole bunch of other people hopping up and down saying, oh, we got to ban more guns because we got to ban civilians from having guns because the 3 fully automatic AK-47s that were used in the Tavern shooting. Why? It's got nothing to do with us. They weren't shot with hunting rifles or clay shooting shotguns or pistols or revolvers, or they were shot with AK-47s.
Yeah, that is a sporting rifle.
No, it's not.
Well,
no, it's not. No, it's not. You're making the same mistake they make. It's not a sporting rifle. An AK-47 is a fully automatic
so
assault rifle.
You're not talking about the self-loading
rifles. I'm not talking about self-loading rifles. I was talking about AK-47s. If I wanted to talk about self-loading rifles, I would have talked about it. So this is a mistake. It's not AK-47s are not available to the public.
That's fully automatic.
They are not available to the public except for maybe 120 or 150 Category A collectors. And none of their firearms, to my certain knowledge, have ever been stolen or lost to the criminals. So they are highly guarded and highly protected. So this is the whole thing of blaming the civilians and talking about this as being a reason for why the Firearms Control Amendment Bill must be prosecuted is complete bullshit. It's complete rubbish. It's got nothing. The one thing's got nothing to do with the other.
Those are mostly weapons that come over our borders.
Exactly. There's a lot of weapons apparently coming in now from northern Mozambique. There were lots of coming in from southern Mozambique into KZN. The guns are coming in from Zimbabwe. The guns are coming in from Lesotho. They're flooding into the country. There are still caches from the struggle days. The ANC still has all the shell house weapons, their armory that they used in the shell house massacre when they massacred the IFP supporters prior to the 94 elections. They still haven't surrendered those guns. So the guns that are used in cash in transit are not your sporting firearms.
No. So it's the civilians, legal firearms owners gets blamed.
Of course.
For something that
it's got nothing to do with us.
If you look at the Wits report, it says the police are not policing, and it's the criminals. They're not doing anything about criminal firearms.
Exactly. So I was able to use the example of one of GOSA's founding members, Scholl van Wyk, who was the guy who stood up in the St. James Church massacre back in 1993, when the church was attacked during services by AK-47 wielding terrorists, and I use the term advisedly because that's exactly what happened there. Terrorism is defined as a person who uses unlawful violence specifically against civilians in order to advance a political aim. These were terrorists. There's no other way of cutting it. They were terrorists. They walked into a church during a church service with AK-47s and hand grenades.
They were there to kill the people.
They tried to. And Scholl stood up with a 5-shot 38 special revolver and drove them out of the church.
It is still such an act of bravery that it's absolutely amazing.
It's a distinct act of bravery, and it illustrates perhaps the cowardice of the perpetrators, that they would run away from a man with a 5-shot revolver. So the point that I'm trying to make is that the point that I made in the interviews today specifically was at the tavern in Soweto, if there was one of the 16 people that was killed, or one of the other patrons at the tavern that had stood up with a firearm, they may have very well driven the gunmen away, or at least limited their spree.
Yeah.
And so that's, we say, what are we going to do about this? How can we handle it? Well, have armed civilians on standby. So of course Adele came back to me and said, "Oh, you're quoting one example from 30 years ago." And I said, "Yeah, that's true." I said, so let's go 2 years ago. 2 years ago in Texas, at the West Freeway Christian Church, there was a similar attack. And a guy with an AR-15 waltzed into the church during services, shot dead 2 of the people in the church. A third guy stood up and with a single well-aimed shot took out the gunman.
And that was it.
That spree killing stopped at, 3 people dead, one of whom was the perpetrator. So this is not uncommon. It happens relatively frequently.
Bad people will do bad things.
But bad people will do bad stuff. It's just what they do. You cannot stop this.
Crazy will be crazy.
Crazy's going to do what crazy does. So of course Adele shot back and said, "Oh, but you're suggesting that everybody should be armed all the time, and then you'll have people in the pubs because someone spills their drink pulling out a gun and shooting somebody else." And I had the chance to say to Adele,
I did hear that.
I had the chance to say to Adele, That's the psychotic movie that's playing in your head. You need help. Seek help. Which I think the interviewer rather enjoyed. Anyway, this is the fallacy they'd make.
Yeah.
This is projection, psychological projection.
We've talked about this
She's
before.
obviously thinking in her mind.
That's what
my
people do.
God, if I had a gun, I would. If a guy swore at me on the highway or flipped me the bird, I'd shoot him. If he cut me off from a parking spot, I'd shoot him. That's the movie that's going on in her mind. She's sick. She's psychotic.
We've always said that actually carrying a firearm, when I talk to the girls, it's made us all calmer. You
Yes.
avoid.
Of course.
And only as an absolute last resort, you are going to pull up your
I've always referred to it as an aid memoir.
Yep.
It's like, they used to say you put a piece of string around your finger to tie a knot around to remind yourself to do something. It's that kind of thing. It's a physical manifestation that reminds you all the time that things can go wrong. Things you need to be careful. You need to be aware. You need to be alert. Anyway, so I think the interviews went quite well. I think the arguments are well made. I think we've and please, I'd love if anybody out there in internet land stumbles across the article that gets written in Mail and Guardian. If they stumble across if they have a recording of the audio of the SABC radio interview, please supply it to us. We'll link it to this video and we'll put it on the Facebook group.
Is that it from your side?
I think that's about it. If anything else happens, this is by the way, guys, this is being pre-recorded. This is Wednesday afternoon. So if anything happens in the rest of the week, we'll package it and we'll add it on to this, because we're not able to do this on Friday. So we're just doing it in plenty of time.
Yeah. And just want to say again, skip on. We have something on next Friday for the ladies, introduction
Awesome.
to handguns. So if you haven't booked, please book. I've got some awesome lady instructors that will help me. So yeah, please come and meet us at Skidpon. And that's about it.
Fantastic, people. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great
Cheers.
weekend. Bye.
Scrappy, the Land Rover has lots of friends. Come play with us, the fun never ends. We're gun buddies, we learn gun safety. It's fun and easy, just like 1, 2, 3. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. Someone has a gun they keep in their room. Don't touch it or it will go boom. Scrappy knows what's best, so listen girls and boys. Guns are not bad, but guns are not toys. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. A friend invites you to come and play. He tells you to touch a gun. No, that's not okay. Scrappy knows what's best, so listen girls and boys. Guns are not bad, but guns are not toys. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away.